Today is the day. My first big adventure of 2025, and it's a really big one. This morning we are flying to the Caribbean to spend 2 weeks on the island of Curaçao. 2 weeks of adventure, sunshine, beaches, crystal clear waters. Oh, heaven. But first, we've got a nice big travel day ahead of us. I am one of those people who loves flying. I love the airport. I love everything about it. So honestly, a 10-hour flight is fun to me, mostly because I very rarely fly long haul, so it makes it feel a little bit more special. So I'm going to bring you along for the full travel day and let you experience it through my lens. Let's go. So let me catch you up on the morning. It is now 5:15 in the morning. We've been up since about 2 and we're due to start boarding in 5 minutes, but there's a twist. Amsterdam Schiphol Airport is telling us that there is a 3-hour delay on our flight because from what we can find online, there is a severe fog warning in Amsterdam at the moment, so that would obviously affect us being able to land. However, Dublin Airport is telling us nothing. No other source online is saying anything about a flight delay, so fingers crossed, just an announcement any minute for us to start boarding. We did see the flight crew arrive to the gate, chat for a second, and then leave again. And they're like sat down in a cafe, which concerns me a little because why do they have that much time on their hands? We only have an hour and a half connection time in Amsterdam to get our flight to Curaçao. So yeah, that delay will definitely screw up our whole plans. But I'm telling myself that if it does all go to shit, at least it'll make an interesting video for you. So stay tuned. Update coming right now. Update, not the update I wanted to give. Our flight is delayed by potentially 3 hours. We still don't actually know for sure. The information is all very vague. We've been given basically no information. So while we wait, we came for some breakfast, some coffee, and we're doing all of our own research to see if we can figure out what our options might be. Potentially, there's 3 scenarios. 1, this flight is delayed between 2 or 3 hours, but also the flight taking off from Amsterdam to Curaçao is also delayed, in which case we might still make our connection. That's the best case scenario. Option 2 is we get to Amsterdam, we miss our connection, and they put us on a later flight to Curaçao that stops off on another island, St. Martin, and then we'd spend the night on that island before flying to Curaçao. And option 3 is we make it to Amsterdam and they put us on the flight to Curaçao the following day, and then we have to spend the night in Amsterdam, which doesn't sound too bad, but we haven't packed any warm clothes and it's like 2 degrees in Amsterdam at the moment, so we'll probably end up just spending the entire time in the hotel to stay warm. But it's just a waiting game right now. We're just hanging out in the airport until they give us some more information. It's like very poor communication right now. The departure board, which is behind me, can you see? There. It still says go to gate, and it's actually past our original departure time. So, who knows when they're going to give us more information. Hopefully soon. 6:26 and we are boarding. We have boarded the plane. We are on, but we are going to be sitting here for about an hour before we can actually take off. But at least they gave us water. Ryanair would never probably be comparing this entire experience to Ryanair because that's who we typically fly with.
A few flights with a new departure time.
So we are about 20 minutes from landing, and the air hostess has just made an announcement explaining everybody who has connection. So she listed out a nice big long list of departures from Amsterdam and what time they were at for people that will not make those flights. And Curaçao was one of them. So we are not getting a flight to Curaçao today. There was such a long list. There's a lot of people on this plane not making their connections by the sound of it. So thankfully KLM seem to have a pretty good automated system. So as soon as we land and connect to Wi-Fi, we should get a notification about what our rebooking is. So that's still up in the air. Hopefully something good. Also, the pilot gave us a weather update for Amsterdam. It is minus 3 degrees. We're going to freeze our butts off. just gotta wait and see what happens next. Honestly, who knows what's gonna happen at this day. Okay, so update. It is now just after 5 p.m, which should mean that we're only 2 hours away from landing in Curaçao, but as you can see, that is not the case. So let me catch you up. We landed in Amsterdam at about 10 a.m, and annoyingly, our plane to Curaçao was still on land in Amsterdam airport. It didn't actually take off until 10:30, but the gate was closed when we landed. So like we were that close to getting on that flight, but unfortunately not. When we connected to Wi-Fi, when we landed, we got the notifications and we could see in the KLM app straight away that they had rebooked us onto another flight. But it was not at all what we were expecting. It was this crazy route. So it was going to take us from Amsterdam backwards a little bit to London, then from London, with a 7-hour wait in London, then all the way to Bogota in Colombia, and then from there to Curaçao. And that would get us to Curaçao at 9:30 on Sunday morning. So I'm guessing that was the fastest way they could get us there, but that is a hell of a travel day, going from 2 flights to 4. When I sat with it for a little bit, I quite enjoyed the idea of that travel day. It would have been very dramatic, probably a lot of fun, and would have made a good story for you. But when we made it to the self check-in desks, the kiosk, we saw that there was also an option for us to just choose the exact same flight from Amsterdam to Curaçao the following day. So we were able to get that sorted. And then we also were able to get a few complimentary things from KLM sorted. First of all, food vouchers in the airport. So we did that first. We got some food. €15 each. It wasn't bad as like a second breakfast. Then we had a voucher come through from our travel insurance because of the delay in flight to get a free lounge pass. So we went over to the Aspire Lounge to try get in, but they were fully booked and there was like an hour waiting list. So unfortunately, it looks like we won't be able to cash in that voucher. From there, we were able to make it to our complimentary hotel. It is the Leonardo Hotel Amsterdam. It's a 4-star hotel right beside a park, and it's really nice. I mean, the room is just kind of a standard modern hotel room, but it's lovely. And again, we got here and we had complimentary lunch. So we went straight up to the restaurant on the 17th floor, which has an incredible view of the city, and enjoyed a lunch there before having a beer while we waited for our room to be ready. And then we just came to the room and took a nap, hence the bed unmade behind me. And that brings us to now. So it is almost sunset. This hotel also has the highest rooftop terrace in Amsterdam. So we're going to head up there and watch the sunset. And then we have a nice comfy bed to sleep in tonight before waking up tomorrow and attempting the travel again from here to Curaçao. Show how cold it actually is. There's a layer of ice on this water right here, and insert clip, there was a pile of snow outside the airport earlier today. Rightfully so, everyone else is way more wrapped up to keep warm, but as long as we keep walking, we're kind of okay. And this is really nice to get out for some fresh air, at least. Feels like the much more reasonable option out of the 2 travel options that we had. This way we get some fresh air, a bed to sleep in, and 1 long flight. So we are just back from dinner. A little underwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. It was a buffet. That's what our voucher got us, and none of the food was labelled. Couldn't tell what half of it was. A lot of meat, very few vegetarian options, but I made do with what I had. And there were some cakes and they were nice. The best part is that the sign outside was called KLM Stranded Buffet. I don't know if that's like intentionally kind of a joke or not, but I enjoyed it. Also, even though I did nap earlier, I'm kind of tired already. That's kind of good because the time shifter app wants me to go to sleep in an hour. So I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but I found this app when I went to Peru a few years ago, which was my very first long haul flight. And I was like kind of afraid of jet lag kind of ruining my trip there, because I was like landing and just getting straight into it. And I found this app and it's really good. So it like you put in your flight details and then it creates a plan for you for when to sleep, when not to sleep, when to have coffee and not, and when to expose yourself to light or not. So, and it's this science by astronauts to help adjust your body to the time difference and reduce the effects of jet lag. And even with our flight change, I was able to change that in the app to get a new plan for the next couple of days to help me with it. So that's quite handy. So I get to go to sleep from 9 o'clock tonight until 6 a.m. So it's a pretty good night's sleep before we get up and head to the airport. So yeah, first thing tomorrow morning, we are back on track for our travel day from here all the way to Curaçao. It's a 10-hour flight and I'm excited for it. Fingers crossed everything goes to plan tomorrow. Let me know your predictions in the comments. Any more drama? I don't know. Good night. Amsterdam to Curaçao, take 2. We made it to the airport. We had a nice, swift check-in security experience, and the airport's really nice and quiet this morning, which is making it a much more enjoyable experience than it was yesterday. Big bonus for the airport, there's tons of seating everywhere, which, like, for whatever reason, there's just never enough seating in airports, so big thumbs up from me. And I've got some time to kill, so roll cinematic airport sequence. Fun way to kill some time. Almost time to board. Hello. We are a couple hours into the flight. We have just had our first meal. It was really tasty. I actually really enjoyed it. It was like a cheap macaroni and cheese pasta thing. I actually forgot to pre-order. I usually get the Asian vegetarian option. I forgot to do that, so I'm glad there was still a nice vegetarian option for me. And now I'm going to enjoy my white wine. We all boarded the flight from the very front, so we walked through first class all the way down. And I forgot to mention that at one point yesterday when we were trying to figure out our transfer, the self-service kiosk had assigned me a seat of 5A, which would have been first class window seat. So that would have been really fun if that had happened, but it was obviously a mistake and they fixed it very quickly. But yeah, as I've kind of said, I still love long haul flying, even in economy. So I thought throughout this flight, I will share some of my favorite things, starting with what I've just enjoyed, my first meal. The fact that there's for a 10-hour flight, there's a lot of food included. So we've had our first full meal, our first drink. I got a bottle of water as well. So yeah, I will show you all my other favorite aspects of flying long haul too. Of course, one of the other best parts is the screen, the entertainment. So I've just finished Deadpool and Wolverine. Got tons of options, but then we can also watch our flight. Oh, and this was a really cool feature to find. Never seen this before. It gives us like a timeline of our flight, and we can see when food is going to be served. So we just had our first meal. We've got all this big block, so I'm gonna go to sleep, and I'll see you in a few hours. I'm pretty sure it is an actual fact. We are flying to Curaçao, obviously, and the island of Curaçao sits on the continent of South America. So it's my second time being to South America, but we're also technically still staying within the EU, maybe. So the information online is a little bit grey, but citizens of Curaçao can get EU citizenship. They can have dual citizenship. So that's kind of a fun, random fact. While I have the window seat free beside me, let's take a look at the view. Another great thing about this plane in particular particular is this massive bathroom. Look at all this space. I've never seen a plain bathroom with so much space. So we're on the home stretch, not long left. And I'm here to kind of freshen up a little bit. Obviously we don't get many kids in economy, so I kind of brought my own from home. This is actually the Turkish Airlines business class amenity bag, because Kieran flew that once. So I have lip balm, eye mask, earbuds, toothbrush and toothpaste, tissues. Oh yeah, I forgot about these. Little sanitizing wipes from my Air France flight, paracetamol, a bobbin, and a nail file. And that's this way there's no waste because it's all just my own and I will use it all. But the one thing they do give us, which is actually really nice, is this refreshing towel. I've been holding on to it because I knew I'd want it now at the end of the flight. And speaking of space, another great thing obviously about these bigger planes is that you can kind of get up and like walk around, like do a little circle and stretch your legs, stretch out your body a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do next, right after I brush my teeth. Just like that, we are rounding out the flight. One last cup of coffee, right on schedule for my time shifter too. Almost there. We're here. We just picked up our rental car and we're on our way to the hotel, and it is so warm and sunny and beautiful and loving it already. And though my body doesn't really know what time of day it is only 20 to 4 here, so we still have a good bit of day left to do some exploring, and hopefully we can beat the jet lag by staying up long enough until our actual bedtime and then hit the ground running tomorrow. We're here, we finally have made it to Curaçao, and it is so colourful already. I love it so much. First impressions are amazing. And our hotel, wow, that's so loud right outside the window. Our hotel is so cute as well, like even this view. It's like a really historic building, but it's so colourful and has some really fun features. Let's take a quick look. So we have our bed, some beautiful wallpaper, these beams, stunning. Then if we go around, this is what you're greeted to as you come in. Shower. That's just so fun. Big open glass shower. We've got our little kitchen area. And they even left us some complimentary drinks, which would be nice because it's so warm already. This is where we're staying, Wynwood Boutique Hotel. We're here for 2 weeks and I'll be soaking up all of the sunshine, the beaches, the water, as many adventures as I possibly can. And of course, I'll be bringing you all along for it. Here's a little sneak peek. So you don't want to miss that, so subscribe for those in the coming weeks. And in the meantime, I hope you have a joyful week and I'll catch you in the next adventure.